Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we continue our journey through the catalog of the manufacturer de Bethune with an emblematic model, the 2019 DB28 Yellow Tones, a watch that is certainly gold in color, but not gold in composition. This is an exceptional fire-oxidized grade 5 titanium that has been oxidized such that the layer deposited on the titanium components is effectively half the wavelength of blue light. Therefore, it cancels the blue and creates this rich array of golden tones, and it's been fired inside and out to create a complementary color composition, essentially a scale of golden tones from the inside to the outside. Let's start outside and work our way in. The watch is only 42.7 millimeters in diameter, and I say only because it's a nice middle ground between a modern full-sized watch and what would be considered oversized. It's not oversized in thickness either. Only 11.4 millimeters thick, the watch is slender and will slide under a dress cuff. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the watch is fitted with the company's signature dynamic spring-loaded floating lugs. It's a variable geometry system that actually conforms to your wrist size. New for 2019, there's a set of lugs that could be considered the just right size. The company used to have long and short lugs. Now it has a medium standard fitment that spans 51 to 55 millimeters. Again, variable geometry depending on your wrist size. The spacing between the lugs, 26 millimeters, nice and broad, so it has a stanced appearance on the wrist. Again, it's not a huge watch, but it has a broad, square-shouldered stance that makes it look more imposing and perhaps even a little bit larger than it is. It's a wonderful trick of the eye. Design virtuosity continuing throughout the profile of the case into a strap that I must advise is a shipping strap because it's difficult to ship the factory alligator. This watch is heading to Watch Time LA. A shipping strap in calfskin is fitted. The factory strap will be alligator on both sides. You can see that the buckle in grade 5 titanium, likewise yellow oxidized, a de Bethune factory piece, designed to match the lines of the lugs, so there's a handsome design parallelism. The ogival profile or bullet shape of the lugs, one of the original design cues of the company back in 2002 with the DB1 chronograph, the first model, surviving into the modern era as the terminus of the floating lug design. The watch is a bullhead design, so you have a screw-down crown at 12 o'clock, 30 meters water resistant with a double knurling that makes it a pleasure to wind, and you'll only need to wind the watch once every 6 days because the caliber 2115 V4 has twin mainspring barrels, which are a physical feature of the dial, and a 6-day power reserve. So exceptional autonomy, manually wound. The watch features a Moonphase down at 6 o'clock that is, like the rest of the watch, beautifully gold toned. A yellow tone, to be precise. One half, a hemisphere, has been oxidized yellow, and the other half, which is white palladium, has been left white, so it is white palladium and oxidized steel to create a 360-degree spherical moon phase. You can see the pinion just above it. It need be corrected only once every 122 years using the pusher adjuster on the case flank. Now the dial is essentially one and the same as the caliber. The 2115 V4 are one of the company's 37 in-house caliber designs since 2002. A few features to shout out. The balance is an exceptional piece. We talked about the moon phase display. But the balance, which likewise has been oxidized yellow and black polished or specular finished, features a triple shock protection system known as triple parachute. Shock protection on both sides of the full balance bridge and shock protection on the center for the balance staff. It is a very hardy watch, designed for active lifestyles, and the balance, likewise, an in-house piece of proprietary design. It is a combination of blued titanium with white gold masses outboard with 3 goals. 1. Thermal stability. It will not cause variations in the rate of the watch regardless of temperature. 2. Aerodynamic efficiency. Every parasitic loss affects the chronometric precision of a watch. Reducing aerodynamic drag is important. Finally, it has a large polar moment with all of the mass outboard at the rim of the balance, so it has an enormous mass for shaking off the deviation that can occur due to vibrations or concussion on the wrist. Just below, you can see the dogleg curve of the proprietary flat hairspring, which produces the concentric beating and centered mass of a Breguet overcoil without the fragility and vulnerabilities of an overcoil. Another patented device that you cannot see is the silicon escape wheel, which is of the company's own design, yes, and patented, that results in less parasitic drag at the escapement while extending the maintenance interval of the watch. At center, you can see the bridge over the motion works underneath the hands. Likewise, black polished and oxidized. There is a black polished concave plinth that actually surrounds the movement at center, and you can see that there is an hour track, likewise oxidized, but to a more golden tone. So you have contrasting golden tones internally. You also have globes of polished titanium that double as hour tracks, and you have Côte de Bethune underneath the Delta style center bridge, and there is a larger, almost Starfleet emblem that represents the bridges of the twin mainspring barrels. And by the way, whereas most manual wound watches can be overwound by accident, these twin self-regulating barrels cannot accidentally be overwound. They will release any additional tension that you might accidentally impart. On the case back, you can see beautiful engine-turned perlage, satin graining across the wheels as well as the lever of the power reserve system, and the case back power reserve traces the 6 days of autonomy, a timepiece that almost defies description. It is the kind of thing you need to see to believe, and you need to wear to fully appreciate. But take it from me, as one who's experienced almost every model from this company, each is both distinctive and satisfying in its own way. The key is really to find the model that most matches your personality. If you're more of a Las Vegas, if you're more of a Santa Monica Sunset Strip, a Miami Beach type, this might be exactly the model for you. In warm yellow tones, this is the DB28 Yellow Tones.